My name is Carolyn Woolsey. I have worked at UCQ as a nursing instructor. I'll be starting my 7th year in the fall. Prior to that, I lived and worked as a bedside nurse in Saudi Arabia. So I've lived in the Middle East for coming up, I think, 12 years now. Living in Doha it is different for sure, but it's a nice different. I would say it's much quieter in terms of places like Dubai or Abu Dhabi. You hear about those places in the news quite a bit. So I find that Doha is much more low-key, but there are things to do. I'm here with my husband. He also works, and I'm here with my kids. They're 13, so they don't know anything else besides living in the Middle East. I think as a family, we're really happy here. We have been able to do a lot more things. I think just having some more disposable income, to be honest, because we don't have a tax. We've been able to do a lot of traveling with our kids. A lot of places that would be dream trips. We are able to, my son is able to play on a rugby team. He goes to international tournaments in Spain and in the Middle East, so he's very lucky that way. So instead of being hockey parents, we're rugby parents. Driving here, I've always driven here. I was a little nervous when I first came here because I hadn't driven, coming from the Middle East, I hadn't driven in so long. And there was quite a bit of traffic at that time, so that was 7 years ago. I would say that driving here is not nearly as bad as it was at that time. It's certainly improved. They've done, Qatar has done a lot of road work and a lot of infrastructure getting ready for the World Cup, so the driving is much, much better. And I've gotten used to some of the things. People drive really close and honk a lot more than they would in Canada, so those kind of things, you get used to it. I would say I think I talked about my family. My husband's here. He also is able to work, so that is good. As far as working here at UCQ, I think that it has been, it's not easy because you are working with a culturally diverse student body. That kind of adds an extra layer of teaching. But that being said, I think it makes you a better teacher, accommodating and working with these students. I was just at a conference in Canada, a nursing education conference, and I think that our students are exactly the same as students in Canada, so they're not any different. They still want to negotiate grades, and they still want the highest grade, and they don't read textbooks and things like that. So I think some of the things that we maybe complain about or concerned about, they're not unique to our students. They're all over they're everywhere. That being said, I think we're doing a lot to really increase how nursing is seen here in Qatar and how our students will work in the workforce. I think that I am a better person because I get to work with these students. I think that working here has given me a lot of opportunities that I probably wouldn't have gotten in Canada. Even working full-time as an instructor could be hard for me. Probably in Canada there's a lot more competition. I've gotten to go to really great conferences. I've been able to do research, which I probably wouldn't have or might not have had the same opportunity to in Canada. I've gotten to, just in general, gotten a lot of exposure in terms of nursing education. So I've got to be on several different committees because we are such a small group of nursing faculty and a small group of faculty. I've just had a chance to kind of develop those skills and that knowledge just by being here.